What is up, Mr. Jansen? How are you doing this evening?
Good to be back, Robert Falco, for another earnings report. And they just keep coming. They keep coming. So I'm glad I got the chance to get back with you and cover two I would say highly anticipated for sure companies. So tonight we're going to talk about Nvidia and Robinhood.
Yeah, the boys in the hood. Here we go. Another earnings report. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button down below, by the way. So let's jump into Robinhood. Obviously, the IPO. There was a lot of smack being talked about the IPO, but I actually thought their IPO was pretty decent from a standpoint of it didn't get like overpriced and then have some huge selling. So I think retail got a good opportunity to make some money into this pump, but that initially happened. Now it's pulling back and consolidating. So let's jump on in to their financials here. We'll go to the pretty one. Although this green, I don't know, it's a little. If you're colorblind, good luck reading their earnings report here. But cumulative funded accounts. It's our first look at their earnings report, so we'll get to see what categories are really important. So net cumulative funded accounts, 22.5. These are in millions, yeah. So 22.5 million accounts last year. I mean, that's pretty much double. Well, actually more than double. Yeah, 9.8. So more than double Q2 of last year. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they've been. I like that step chart. I mean, that shows growth. So even if you're coming in as a long-term investor, at least for now, I mean that looks like a solid potential growth. And I think they're very still early in the of what the company's capable of. They did generate probably a lot of volume, a lot of attention, and a lot of brand awareness through the entire GameStop. I know it's going to be a heated debate for GameStop, but based on how they handle the situation and all that stuff. But they do say there's no such thing as bad publicity, and I think that in the long run will help Robinhood as far as at least with the branding aspect of things.
Yeah, I definitely think that it just brought them more publicity, whether you love it or hate it. There's people obviously jumping on Robinhood that weren't there before. Monthly active users, you get this on a lot of platforms. Pretty much everybody who has a funded account looks active. Again, I don't know how many transactions you have to do. I'm guessing it's probably just one, and they count you as an active user. And then assets under control. So not AUM because they're not managing it, but assets under control, 102 billion. That's pretty impressive. You can see equities make up a big portion of that. Then you have options, and then you have cryptocurrency. And the Robinhood folks not holding a lot of cash, it looks like.
Yeah, that's spells disaster for market downturns. But either way, yeah, it looks again, they do have the users there. They do have the assets. I mean, when you add those assets up, that's a solid amount under I guess the word is probably custody instead of management, but yeah, that looks solid. But yeah, I think a lot of Robinhood traders, there could be some experienced ones, and I'm sure somebody listening to this video, they're experienced. So I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I think you get a lot of people just stepping into the market and they put money in and they just buy things. And I don't think they have that much just cash sitting around in the accounts.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of that cash is being deployed. I don't see percentages on here, but it's a very, very small sliver. Again, I wish they would do something different other than these like green, light green, dark green. It seems a little hard on the eyes there, but I know that's their colors. Average revenue per user, $112 per user. So relative to last quarter of 2020, that's down a little bit. I think that's primarily due to the volatility that we had. And then, I mean, this difference in Q1, this was the quarter that GameStop went nuts. So you can see they were just absolutely crushing it on the spreads, because if you don't know, Robinhood makes money payment for order flow, and they're getting money back from the spread basically, and that payment for order flow. So all that volatility that happened during the Corona crash last year, and then especially at the beginning of the year, had that ARPU, that average revenue per user, way up there.
Yeah, that's not a it's not the best chart to look at if you're looking long term perspective, just because you're not seeing the steady growth of per user. Uh, Even from that Q2 of 2020, we started to dip a little bit, started to make some progression. Again, this company is very much so in the infancy of what it's doing, so you could give it some time on this level. And that 137 is an abnormal number for where they were, just because of the hype, the meme stocks, and everything that was going nuts during that time frame. And we did see AMC this quarter, this last quarter that's in this report, that did go nuts. I believe that was in this last second quarter of this year. So that could also be adding to a little of that 112 number as well. So you can't discount things, but weird things happen all the time in the market. So who knows? There could be another GameStop situation next quarter or something like that, and obviously that's just going to boost their overall um, revenue per user as well.
Yeah, or in heightened volatility. If we do ever get a pullback, then I think their revenue is probably going to increase. You can see transaction based revenue. I mean, that's pretty much everything is their payment for order flow. A little bit of net interest revenue. I'm not sure what the other revenues is, maybe like advertising or something like that. And here is where they are coming from. So you can see, as far as equity and payment for order flow, for just your average shares, unless it's something wild like a GameStop or AMC, they're probably not making a ton. You're probably getting some price improvement. But options, the YOLO options, I mean, they are just raking in tons and tons of revenue from options. And then look at this darker blue is crypto. Look at
That's
the
where I'm
crypto
surprised.
revenue.
That's where I'm very surprised. That should be actually a good indicator for Coinbase. I would imagine Coinbase is doing a lot more crypto than Robinhood, but maybe not. That's a large increase. But also, again, they're making money from spreads, and there's not too wide of spreads when it comes to actual just equities. Options, you do get a little bit more, but the crypto spreads are wild sometimes. So I could definitely see a good margin in the cryptos, and the more activity you're getting in that realm, obviously the more profit companies like Robinhood, Coinbase, all those guys are going to be able to capture from that.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. I mean, if we go over here as far as some of the numbers, 141% increase in the second quarter of 21 compared to second quarter of 20 in revenue. I mean, that's pretty large. 109% increase. We covered that in the monthly active users. Again, I think that just counts like one trade. We'll have to do a little bit of digging and find out there. But overall, I mean, I thought it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it. And this thing has been a lot of fun to trade. So, what are your thoughts? Buy, sell, hold? What do we do with Hood?
I think long term, and I am a bull on Coinbase. I like the numbers that came out from Coin as well, and I thought they were very impressive. Both of them, I think, are getting a little too much attention to them. Both stocks, so you're getting a lot of I wouldn't say manipulation is the right word, but just the volatility. I do think that Coin was just absolutely priced incorrectly when it landed. There was just so much hype on it based on the current state of the crypto market and all that stuff. Hood, on the other hand, I think the GameStop situation helped price them a little bit better. So I think they're very for the long term. I think they are a little bit undervalued, just based on the fact that like they had, if they didn't have that whole GameStop situation, at least as the way they handled it and the press, I think they probably could have got a little bit more for their IPO. So I do think the IPO was a little underdone. And then we did see, what was that, one, two, three, four, like the fourth and fifth day after IPO just went nuts again. So again, we have some volatility in it. It is actually pretty liquid to day trade as well. So yeah, like you said, it is a fun it is a fun stock and does do some fun things. Getting killed after hours though for after this report. So markets aren't too happy with it. Like you said, I think the report's not a horrible report.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I actually kind of like it. So I would like Robinhood to dip. I mean, if it gets back into the 40 area, I had originally bought shares over here at 35, and I actually bought them on Robinhood just because I had stuck money over there to check it out. So I bought Hood on Hood and then sold it. And I've been day trading this one quite a bit. But if it gets back into mid 30s, maybe around 40, take a little bit of a nibble. Otherwise, extremely fun to day trade. Like you said, great volume, great liquidity. And it feels like this one trades pretty well from a technical standpoint. You see a nice little pennant break here. So had some consolidation. So yeah, I like Hood to trade, and then maybe 40 into the mid 30s might be worth taking a little nibble at.
Yeah,
Let's
my long term criteria is, do I think the company's going to be around in 10 years, and do they make money? I don't see Robinhood going anywhere in 10 years. I think over time, the next, like, again, if you, what do they call, diamond hands it? If you diamond hands it and you're just ready to ride it out, I think you'll be fine. I think we see higher prices in the future for this one just over time naturally. So any of the pullbacks, I do think is some kind of just buy cautiously and just slowly build a position over time.
Yeah, and I think the whole like, oh, Congress is going to do something about payment for order flow. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. I don't think they're going to do anything. Let's jump on over to Nvidia. This thing is up after hours, about 2.5%. We know it had that huge run into the split, pulled back right before the split, bounced really nicely. And let's come on over to Nvidia. So record revenue, 6.5 billion, up 68% from a year earlier. Gaming revenue up 3 billion. That's up 85%. This has to count cards for crypto, right?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't
We,
I
we,
didn't
we were trying
see
to
them
we were trying
anywhere
to figure
else.
that out. I don't see any other place that they could put it. And I know the chips that they're using are very closely related to the gaming chips. So I think it has to fall into that.
Yeah, so I think that's obviously helping it. And then data center revenue up 35%. I mean, that's pretty impressive as well. And yeah, it looks like a great report from Nvidia as well.
Yeah, good margins. You did see the increase this last quarter as far as the revenues go, profits, all that stuff. So yeah, I think it's strong. It has moved. We just went through the stock split. I think this one does have room to go as far as again long term. I think it's fine. I don't, if it dips, buy some dips. It is technically up there. We could see some further moves. This report though, I think could actually send it up to probably all time highs again, which is I'm seeing like 208.75. If this does turn into some kind of gap and go tomorrow, which it has definite potential. I think we're actually there now.
Yeah, one of the things that I was looking at that was pretty interesting was all this data center information here about their AI software. They've definitely come a long way. I personally think they're one of the leaders. And I thought that Tesla was moving away from NVIDIA, but it looks like the new Tesla AV training supercomputer is powered by NVIDIA. So that's pretty cool. That was something that I was not aware of. I thought Tesla moved away from them. And then also Microsoft Azure also being powered by NVIDIA. So and Google Cloud. I mean, they're just all over the place.
In in every aspect of it, because I thought they did a deal with AMD as well. I thought they had something with the Cybertruck computers going toward AMD, so it's possible. And I think when Tesla did announce they were moving away from Nvidia, it wasn't an immediate thing. I think it was something that was taking time. So we might still see a lot of we'd have to look into it to see if that does fall off at some point. But for right now, I think Tesla's still with Nvidia.
Yes, the data center. Here's this slide right here. I thought that this is pretty interesting. You can see obviously the gaming growth with the graphics cards huge, includes crypto, but then data center too. Just big improvements and very consistent, as well as this professional visualization. And then OEM, auto, and others like they have their hands in a lot of different pots out there. So I think Nvidia is going to be the next mega cap stock that we talk about. That's going to hit 4, 5, 600 billion dollars in market cap out there. Maybe replace the N and Fang from Netflix to Nvidia.
You heard it first here.
Yeah, what is Nvidia's
It's
market
possible.
cap?
Oh.
Actually, it's already at 400 billion. So yeah, 500 billion, not very far away. 6, 7, 800 billion, I think is definitely within reach. And yeah, I would replace the N for Netflix with N for Nvidia if it were me. So I do think this is viable on pullbacks. You're right. If it is a gap and go tomorrow, unless the overall market's pulling back, this thing could continue. So I do think you have to be relatively aggressive if you want in Nvidia, at least to get a little bit of a piece. And then if there are some dip buys, and we already had that dip. This thing consolidated for like a year before it broke out.
Yeah, I think it's bullish. I do think that the market itself is going to drive a lot of these things. So any of the companies, the Robinhood, Nvidia, any of the ones we did past videos on, that have run or bullish, the market can determine a lot as far as price action goes. Who knows what's going to happen? But today was a pretty bearish close on the SPY. Um, and I didn't see how the Qs closed up, but I think it was relatively weak as well. So even though we might get some of these companies that do move, I think Nvidia's primed to have at least a good day trade day tomorrow. We are roughly close to the highs, but yeah, if the market wants to pull back, this is a company I would definitely consider to start building some kind of pyramid in or positions in or something like that, just to kind of get my hands in on Nvidia. I own no Nvidia right now. I own none of it. So probably we'll look for day trade on it tomorrow. Maybe carry a couple shares in just to see if we could get to new all-time highs on it. It to me was a very strong report. The market after hours is showing the market itself relatively happy with it. So we'll have to see where this thing opens up tomorrow. But that could be a nice gap and go with maybe some continuation on it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the selling into the end of the day, all those people are trapped. At least right now, long way to go before the open from a day trade standpoint. So awesome. Well, thanks, Dan, and thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to check us out over at Real Life Trading, and then go ahead and give us a comment and down below. Are you buying a hood? Are you buying Nvidia? What are your thoughts on these two crushers? They're definitely fun to trade.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Can't wait for the next one.
All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Talk to you later.
Later, guys.